Hello, Owl Pals. Welcome to the Saturday Night Rewatch on Big Al Presents. And tonight, Big Al presents a rewatch of the 1990 Tim Burton classic film, Edward Scissorhands, the first film that Burton and Depp did together. So this is where it all started. It came a year after Batman. So this is really around the new, the Elfman, Depp, Burton triumvirate kind of for the first time out. So I'd like to, of course, welcome my co-hosts, Troy Pacelli of Troy Pacelli and Cartan the Klingon Cleric. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, hello, I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing all right. Hanging in there.
Glad to hear it.
It was a very lazy day. I had some visit. I have an aunt up. It was very nice, and had a visitor, and it was really nice. And also to keep us both in check. The lovely Nanette of Netters Network. How are you doing, milady?
I'm doing great. Hi, Al.
Hi, Nanette. Our former Bond girl last night. She was our token.
She was your Bond girl last night. Yeah.
She was our token Bond girl for the first time Bond rewatch, which was a lot of fun. It was the first time we've done a rewatch where, I think only Nanette had seen it, but I hadn't seen it and Daniel hadn't seen it.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Like she was in chat as I was getting ready for my going on with Mr. Matchstick. She says, "I'm the only one. You got to get me that movie because I got to get into this stream."
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And like I said, it was the first time I really watched a full beginning to end Connery Bond film.
Yeah.
I've seen extended pieces, cuts, 15 minutes scenes, but I've never sat down beginning to end on any Connery film.
It's funny because I kind of take it for granted, it's like that's a standard. I expect everyone's seen that.
And I had to and like I said, last night it was Friday the 13th, and of course the fan man was off, and he asked, and I said, well, I'll take it. Well, I'll figure out something. My first idea was to do a rewatch with Age Boomer of Sword of the Valiant, but he's had a rough week. He's in a weird. This is his busy weekend. Something we're going to do though. Sword of the Valiant, me and Boomer, we're like the only ones who really like that film, I think he says. But and then I thought Friday the 13th. Well, I could watch Friday. Everybody would expect that.
Yeah.
And with Connery, I was like, well, I want to do, Connery, man, just so iconic.
Yeah.
And I've never, it's like, I want to watch Dr. No. Let's do the first
start Connery from the beginning, right?
Bond film. Let's watch the first one, the iconic, as kind of a tribute. Remember the man, and man, was he a man. Man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and that's what's giving him grief now. Well, he's gone now, so he doesn't.
Of course. Well, he had a lot of grief through life because of some things he said during his life, and controversial.
But you know what?
Decidedly so.
He
but
did not give a flying fig what anyone thought.
No,
that in and of itself is manly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he had views and he stuck to his guns.
Yeah.
And whether you disagree with that or not, hey, I'm not going to, he's Sean Connery. He doesn't have to kowtow to anyone else's sensibilities. So,
and as I was saying last Sunday on the study hall, I saw like the last picture that was taken of him in his home, days before he passed, and he was happy and smiling and, up and about. So, man, that's the way you want to go, right?
Yeah, he lived
up and active and happy till the last moment.
Yeah, and before I heard, he died peacefully in his sleep.
Yeah,
didn't he? I mean, that's a good way to go. And we lost another one with James Bond cred, Jeffrey Palmer. if anybody remembers, I'm not sure which of it was one of the newer ones. Uh, but he played like an admiral or something, and because he always plays well off of Dame Judi Dench, because they were in a series called As Time Goes By.
Yes.
And I adore that series.
I do too. We have them all on DVD.
Watch it over and over and over again.
Actually, surprisingly, my mother is the one who turned me on to that series.
Yeah, I like Brit sitcoms, Blast of the Summer Wine, Are You Being Served, Keeping Up Appearances,
all of those. Yeah.
They're just a lot of fun, but there is something so magical about As Time Goes By, because
I agree
of the subject matter and the casting. I mean, Dame Judi Dench and Jeffrey Palmer are perfect together.
That's one of those examples that I use of British actors who don't take themselves like overly seriously, right? Because Dame Judi, I mean, just the fact that she's Dame Judi Dench, right? I mean, she could really be all hoity-toity, but she did, later in life, later in her career, she did this television series that's essentially a dramatic sitcom, and she was like, yeah, why not? And she enjoyed the work,
and it's very highly regarded amongst British TV history, and it's so quaint, it's likable, it's just two people in love going through life, and
later in life too,
and later in life, which is what all the main thrust of the series is. You had these two who were in love early and got separated because of a lost letter when he was away in Korea, and then met years and years later, and
I kind of feel like
went through a few issues here and there, a few missteps, but eventually got back together and lived happily ever after.
I don't know how, but I mean, I think there's definitely a place for us to do we could do a show just about the differences between British actors, British,
definitely.
Mentality of acting and the US. I've talked about it a little bit as I talk about Hollywood versus.
There's a whole different mindset. It's a different way of writing, a different comedic style. But yeah, like I said, in a week we lost Jeffrey Palmer. I mean, in a week we lost Sean Connery, and then Jeffrey Palmer. Of course, Jeffrey Palmer. You had to know the man. And if you look at him, you probably recognize him because, like I said,
absolutely
he's been in a Bond film.
If you guys don't know the name that Al is talking about, if you Google him up and you see him, you're like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
He had such a great little droopy face. This little cheeks that kind of gave that droopy look. I always like that. Well, before let's go too crazy, let's say hi to the chat. I think the first one I see is Joshua V. How you doing, sir? I'm surprised this movie is 30 years old. Yeah, you're surprised,
right?
I'm surprised too. I'm surprised. I'm 55. Casey Scott. Hey, how you doing, Casey Scott? Thanks for joining us, Wolfie. Wolf 10 Media in the house. Oh, Wolf 10 Media. That could become a thing. So far, that's all I see. Not a lot of people floating around yet. That's fine.
I'll tell you what. Melissa Harris showed up. Hello, Melissa.
Oh, there's Melissa Harris. I was just about to say, I'm missing Melissa Harris. She's a mainstay, and when she's not here, she's conspicuous in her absence.
Oh, I don't see her. I don't see her.
The very last one.
She just in the last moment.
She is. Well, see, I'm just looking on StreamYard, which runs a little
behind. Yeah.
So it takes a little bit for.
We're so glad that you're here. We really are.
Yeah, it's not a stream without Melissa, really.
Yep.
And for those of you who need the link, I dropped one in. It's supposed to be a free movie. You'll have to let me know if that works. I don't want to download it again because it might mess up the movie I already have up. So,
1, 2, 3 movies. Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
Putlocker. It's kind of like where it's one of the coves on the high seas.
yeah, so if you guys need it, Wolf 10 said it's not working.
Oh, well,
If anybody can put something in their locker, and you can find it there in it. And I've never really had an issue with Putlocker. I have hundreds and hundreds of Putlocker downloads.
we're only 10 minutes in, Al. So
if you tell anyone, shh.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's also on Hulu. If anyone has that, it's free on Hulu.
If you have Hulu.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Al, we're only 10 minutes in, so if you'd indulge me, I do want to. I know we usually save this for the end, but I'm so excited about this. I do want to remind everyone that's in the chat now
about Tuesday.
About Tuesday, exactly, and everyone who sees this in the future.
You are buzzing, and there was a question about the thumbnail, and I knew you would want to do the thumbnail. That's why I didn't even volunteer.
I honestly, I think there was just some serious miscommunication behind the scenes.
Yeah, like I said, I was doing yesterday. I did the Bond and I did this one, and I had the two I had done, and you have the full Photoshop. I just have,
dude. I am so sorry. I didn't realize.
And no, I was totally fine. And like I said, no one ever said, "Oh, I'll do the whole thing."
And when I opened the one that you sent that had both the Han Solo and the Chewbacca, and I know everyone in the stream has no idea what we're talking about. You'll see on Tuesday.
Or you can actually see now.
Yeah, look at the thumbnail. I opened it, and whatever method I opened it in, it showed up as very low res. So I was a little confused. But then when I opened it up the right way, it looked fine. I was able to work with it.
Yeah, because that's as big. I mean, that's as big as that Chewbacca body was.
Nope, you're right. I'm sorry. It was my fault. I was looking at it weird.
Yeah, and
it all worked out, obviously. So
yeah, because like I said, I could use that one, but I'm going to stick with it. I like the other one, the round face-on one that I had.
Yeah,
I'm going to use that for my avatar. But
I have a couple of days to think about what we're going to do.
Yeah, I had done that, and the Luke body was perfect for
right,
and Princess Leia. I was like, wow, those are really.
That was just
I don't know where you got them, but
I just Googled up the characters animated or something like that. And, and it worked out, and I thought that was really good. And then when
did you get them in PNG, or did they have a background, or
they were PNG, which made it that much easier.
I love PNG because you could just drop things right in.
So all of you guys in the chat are like going, what the heck are they talking about? This is just behind the scenes kind of chit chat.
Yeah, how we do the
thumbnails,
avatar and thumbnails and stuff. But Chewie, I'm surprised that full body Chewie is not easy to find.
Yeah, I was so glad you had that.
The best one is that one I had with
the fact that I was able to just do a head swap made it so easy on me. I super appreciate it.
Okay, I am putting another link in. I found it again free. Just try this one and see if this works, Wolfie.
Oh, good idea. Good idea.
Awesome. Yeah, if we could try to get a little.
I don't need it since I already since I already have the movie.
Yeah.
But and the other benefit is that the version I have has subtitles. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one thing mine never has subtitles, but that's all right. I don't worry about it. Sometimes I'll watch subtitles. I've been watching The Mandalorian with subtitles because I have it on my Kindle, and it's hard to hear. So I watch it. And first of all, anybody who's listening to this, it's a puppet eating an egg. Get over it.
Dude,
there's
like
so
I shared,
many people losing their
like I shared about this, we can disagree about that particular issue,
Yeah.
But I'm telling you something.
Is it worth
Mr. H
the headache?
calling me an idiot because I have an opinion about it? That's pretty egotistical. And
Yeah, I mean, come on.
arrogant.
I mean,
You know?
here's my thing. Yeah, you can have one view or the other. It's not worth getting into an argument about.
Well, I'll tell you something. Nanette actually pledged money to his Indiegogo for his movie, and now she's looking at pulling back because he did that because he's being an ass. I mean,
I even
that's-
called him out on it, and I said, you know, despite you saying you didn't call anybody a name, you did. That's how it comes across.
Yeah, do you not understand how the English language works? You're freaking in Britain, for crying out loud.
So then he's like, I didn't call anyone a name, and did one of those laughing, smiling faces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crying eyes. It's like, yeah, you're an idiot.
He's an arrogant ass, and I'm done with him.
And I even told him, I said, you just lost my sub. I'm
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I right after Bond last night, I was winding down, and I was
Mhm.
just you know, look at a few things, and the professor rings me, and he's like, "What is this thing about Baby Yoda and the egg?"
Right, because I probably mentioned it in the group and stuff.
And I told him, and I rang him, like I had to do the call. I was like, "Dude, I can't type it. I gotta say it."
Yeah.
It's just too weird and involved.
Some of this stuff it takes too long to and I actually typed it out in somewhere, and it was like, this is way too much typing. I'd rather just tell you.
I mean, and for me, I was like, one, I can see some people getting a little upset.
Yeah.
But I don't see this weird outrage and
but Al, I don't feel that the outrage
condemnation.
is about the actual content of the show. The outrage is this dude from Lucasfilm trolling the fans about it. It's like,
okay.
you really cannot afford to piss off fans of The Mandalorian. This is all you got left.
Yeah, it's really there. And I don't, you know, like I said, it's a squeegee moment. Yeah, and it's meant to be. The moment in the show did exactly what it was supposed to do.
I think the right reaction would have been
discomfortable. Uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, the right reaction would have been, yeah, sorry you're bothered by this. We knew we were being edgy.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't,
Yeah.
and it's
but to really troll people and condescend to them, you're going to lose half your audience, and you cannot afford that.
It's not where, you know what? If somebody didn't, I'm hearing an echo, by the way, just so you know. If someone,
I'm sorry, it's probably because I'm speaking up, and
if someone
speak loudly.
If someone didn't say anything, if a higher up guy didn't say anything, nobody would worry about it. It would have died out.
But that's the problem.
But they made a thing
these
about
people
it.
keep opening up their mouth and talking on social media, and it's hurting them.
And of course,
it really does look like Disney is starting to crack down on that, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow night.
That's for tomorrow night. Let's get to Edward Scissorhands.
Absolutely, for crying out loud, we're at the 19-minute mark. We went over.
We've given people time to get in here and find a copy of the movie, and like I said, great film. Edward Scissorhands. I'm starting at my 00 mark, which literally it goes right into the 20th Century Fox snow effect, which is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Just absolutely, and of course that music by Danny Elfman.
Oh God, I love it. Yeah,
it's just so great, and it's almost like a little holdover of what you would see in Batman Returns.
I was just gonna say, did this come after Batman Returns?
Yes, because the first Batman was 89, and this was 90, and I think the other Batman came in 92, 93. Nice. I'm not sure what year, but that's it. So we're going to start right at the beginning, just at the point before the thing starts. I'm going to do the normal, usual 3, 2, 1 play, and on play, everyone can hit their little fast forward you go button.
But before you do that, hi, Agent Boomer.
Yeah, Agent Boomer. Thank goodness we were just talking about. Well, we weren't talking about you specifically, but we were talking about office hour, or not office hour, study hour.
We're talking about a topic for tomorrow night for you guys, the egg controversy.
I will get you the notes, and I will get you the thumbnail. I know I'm behind this week. I'm sorry.
Oh, and just real quick, Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan. I am in love.
She's awesome. She really is.
She's
and
great.
Well,
she's in a lot of great. She's a great.
Oh, was she in the last episode?
The new Mandalorian, yeah, Bo-Katan.
Just downloaded it. Netter will watch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oops, spoiler.
No, that's not a spoiler. We knew it was coming up eventually. We just didn't know it was this next episode.
Yeah, definitely love the way they did her. It looks just, it's Bo-Katan because it sounds like her, looks like her. Okay, everyone get ready. 3, 2, 1, play.
So, oh gosh, I love this opening. The 20th Century Fox with the snow effect, very similar to the whole Batman Returns thing.
Oh yeah,
and I gotta say, I would totally be behind doing this all over again on Daniel's channel, Soundtracks with Birdman, because this soundtrack. Oh my gosh, Danny Elfman.
I mean, like I said, there's no rule that says you can't watch the same film on another channel for another reason.
Yeah, exactly that. It's for a different reason.
Or even just watch it because you want to watch it. It's your channel.
We're watching it for content, but if you want to focus on this soundtrack, because I love the soundtrack, and he certainly understands soundtracks better than I do. And Sound Engraver, if you see this in the rewatch or whatever, you really should, if you get a chance, jump on some of the Wednesday night things, because I think you'd have a lot to offer Daniel there.
Yeah, I think there'd be. I would like to have seen her do the Black Cauldron that he did last week.
Right. So one thing I want to say about. Well, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves, but
Vincent Price. And FYI, do you know the second person they would have gotten if they didn't have Vincent Price? If you read IMDb, you would know.
I didn't know.
Leonard Nimoy.
Really? That's an interesting choice. Yeah. I'm so glad they got Vincent Price, though.
Yeah. I mean, Burton wrote it for Vincent Price. And he actually had a bigger role, but they had to cut it back because Vincent was so sick, and this was his last film.
Was he? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He I don't know. It kind of broke my heart when he passed. Yeah. And seeing this movie as his last movie,
great. I mean, it's a great tribute to him.
You're right. I agree.
And it's
there he is. There he is.
But it's a great role. It's the kind of a film I think he totally would be proud of.
It's almost like sending him out with a hug, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's a great Vincent Price style role.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, everybody lives in a suburb that has a hill like that.
Right?
With a castle on top.
Here's the framing piece, right? This takes place. This is considered the modern day, the present day for the story, right? And it's told all in retrospect, which really fits a Tim Burton film, right? Because Tim Burton tends to write as though everything is set in like the 50s, 60s kind of aesthetic.
There's this I like to use the word timeless. It has an old aesthetic, it has a new aesthetic. It's kind of, you can watch it, like I said, 30 years, there's really not a lot that dates it.
Let me also point out, you have this really oversized bed for the little girl.
I mean, it's a little tiny head.
Right? Exactly. That's intentional. And I love that about the visuals on this.
Well, Tim Burton, is a definitely studied the Universal films, that German expressionist style. So that weird perspective, strange angles.
But it's very stylized to him. It's not exactly that.
Yeah, he made it his own.
Yes. It's very intentional what he
Yeah.
does with it, and I love it. And okay, so this is obviously a miniature,
Yep.
okay, and he does a lot of work with miniatures in a very, very brilliant way. And I love the detail. We just passed over a house that had this playhouse in the background. These little details I think are just brilliant.
And I mean, right away they set up just how sad the film is. I mean,
and the framing, the framework of this is about the snow, and the snow having to do with Edward Scissorhands
right.
and what he's doing. Okay, so this sets up Edward Scissorhands and his story, and the fact that he has these hands that are scissors. What a bizarre thing, right? This is so typical.
Came from a drawing that Tim Burton did in school of this like weird goth looking thing with scissors for fingers.
Yeah. And from a story point of view, it's like, how bizarre. Why would the scientist give him scissor hands in anticipation of real hands? But it doesn't matter because Tim Burton.
Oh, Conchita
right?
Farrell.
She just passed this year. Yeah.
Oh God. So sad.
Sad. Can I just Netter? Let me pull Netter in on this.
I do want to say real quick though. Hello to Sir Torrin Clegane.
Oh, hey, Sir Torrin. Netter, you used to do Mary Kay, didn't you? And that's exactly what inspired this character in this role.
Well, she did the whole Avon calling,
Avon, Mary Kay, whatever.
Yeah. My mother was Sarah Coventry.
I'm sorry, what's that?
It's a jewelry. They sold jewelry. And she still has tons of old Sarah Coventry jewelry.
Hello, nurse.
Kathy Baker.
Typical MILF.
Right? Boom. Beautiful woman. I've always liked Kathy Baker. And this was her real first foray into comedy.
Yeah, that's right.
I love the decoration of this house, except for that.
I was just thinking that. Yes, the decor is just. Yeah.
And where they shot this in Florida, and the town, and it's a real town.
Not only that,
and then they painted all the houses a weird color for the style.
What's weird, we missed it, but when you saw her and she opens the door and you see her at the doorway and you see the houses in the background, everything was crisp and clear. You would expect what's in the background to be kind of blurry. So there was, and we just saw it there too. We saw her in the mirror, in the window, and she's perfectly clear.
Yeah.
Everything was crystal clear.
I love the house back there. It's like tented.
Yeah. Which means it's being fumigated?
Termites.
Yeah, fumigated.
Termites usually.
Diane Weiss, great actress, by the way.
Absolutely. And can I just say the whole concept of door-to-door sales, you gotta, and look at this.
Yep.
From the point of view of someone doing door-to-door sales, she's going, you know what? Why not?
Yeah. It's just another door to knock on.
Exactly. Is there a need there? Maybe I can fill that need.
I love that lemon yellow of that car.
If you notice, all the houses are kind of a pastel. Her car is a pastel.
Yeah. And like I said, they painted those houses for that reason.
Yeah.
To all have that aesthetic.
And Tim Burton has this dreamlike quality about his films, right? That's intentional. I love this fearlessness of her, though. It's like, you know what? I'm going to make a sale today. And if that means going to the scary house on the hill, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I love her little pillbox hat. And yes, that is her real hair.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes, it is. And just to take a moment to point out the soundtrack, Danny Elfman is a genius.
Yes. And and you can tell it's Danny Elfman.
Right?
He just has the style about him. And I love only in a Tim Burton's mind would that little mountain with that castle on it be outside of a weird little suburb like that.
Exactly.
I love the topiaries.
Yeah.
I would say I would draw a correlation between him and David Lynch, but a very different aesthetic.
Yeah. Topiaries all fake, by the way. They're constructed with steel wire and flushed out with
moss
greenery.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Let me tell you something. Topiaries are very, very difficult to execute.
Yeah.
At my home in Brookfield, we had somebody come out to trim our hedges down to those little puff balls or whatever, and it's not an easy process.
Nah, because the plant, it goes where it wants to.
Yep.
So it's hard to get it all exact.
And what bush are you going to use? If you use an evergreen bush, there's nothing on the inner part to work with. You only have the outer leaves.
You know what I do like? I like a good boxwood.
Yep.
Our church several years back decorated with boxwood garlands and accent. I mean, tons of it. I mean, they really went all out that year. It was so gorgeous. I fell in love with the boxwood aesthetic of it. I use aesthetic a lot, but
you know what I just realized? I forgot my my signature. What you sipping on? What are you guys drinking tonight?
Lipton green tea.
Yep, I knew you were drinking green tea.
Of course, you live together.
Yep.
I got the lemonade.
I'm sorry, Al. What are you sipping on? I
got my Crystal Light lemonade.
Crystal Light. You know, it's funny. I actually have a box of Crystal Light lemonade right in front of me, but I'm drinking a rum and coke myself.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Have you?
Netter told me I could only have one, so I had a really, really strong one.
A real big one.
Yep.
You can't get out that big.
Now look at this. Look at this stairway. Very similar to that Frankenstein. You know.
Of course, because Frankenstein, one of the
very much an inspiration for this.
Yeah,
yes,
one of the thematic aspects of the film. Frankenstein, Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame, all those films like that really, really did inspire.
I got to be honest with you. This scene bothered me. The roof that's so open like that. I'm thinking all the mold that's going to occur because of that. As a homeowner, that bothers the heck out of me.
Yeah.
And that is a huge roof.
Right?
Yeah.
And can we just hold her up for her pushing forward, trying to make this sale? I have a great deal of feeling for this character because I, for a very brief time, did door-to-door sales.
What'd you sell?
Oh, God, you're going to laugh. You're all going to laugh. I sold coupons for paintball. So you could go and, do paintball, Yeah, it was a bizarre. I was out of work. It was a really rough time for me. Okay.
Johnny Depp had to lose 25 pounds for this role.
Johnny Depp is just an incredible actor because anybody who does that, who can transform their body for a role, is incredible. De Niro, as much as I dislike De Niro personally, as an actor, you know, from Raging Bull to
almost untouchable.
Yeah.
Wolf Ted Me is like the castle reminds me of Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, it's one of those creepy old castles. Be perfect in a Dracula film or Frankenstein, anything like that.
You know, Wolf Ted Media makes a great point. She says she's a brave woman with a good heart.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's absolutely right. That is the crux of this character, and probably the cornerstone of this whole narrative.
And I forgot if it was based on his mother or the writer's mother, the screenplay writer.
Either way, you kind of love this character.
Yeah, she's very, and they got the right actress to play her because Diane Wiest has that innate goodness to her.
Right.
I don't think she could play a bad I mean, of course she probably could, but.
And she honestly, at this point, I don't feel like she's really caring about her sales. She's caring about this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I think you should come home with me. I mean, that is going way beyond even giving a flying fig about her business and her making a sale. She cares about a human being, you know, and making that connection and helping someone.
Frankly, I like his outfit.
Right?
I always like, wonder what it would be like to live in such a cookie cutter neighborhood like that.
There are a lot of them in the Midwest, let me tell you.
First of all, I would mind it at all because compared to where I live now, but it would be something you would have to do.
Look at that. There is the house. We just passed the house that had that playhouse in the background. So, I mean, they actually took the time to recreate it in miniature.
Yeah.
Wow, that hair. Let me just say.
Well, hair plays a very big part in this, as you can tell by our thumbnail.
Oh, right. So everybody, look at my thumbnail. I love the idea that Al put me with this huge, crazy hair. I miss having hair, so I had to choose that thumbnail.
Yeah, of course you know where Edward's hair was inspired by.
No, I don't.
Robert Smith of The Cure.
That makes sense. I totally dig that.
They actually approached him to do some music for the film, but he was too busy doing an album.
I understand.
But Edward's outfit is wild.
I'm going to ask you guys to take over because I need to go off mic in order to get another drink. And Netter, I'm just getting a cherry Coke. Okay. So I'll be right back.
Sure. Yeah.
He better be.
Whoa. Clothes are flying everywhere. And the funny thing is, I could totally live in such a weird 60s, 50s inspired area. And I've said it before, like the kitchen. I love this. I love that old weird pastel look for a kitchen. Because I look at this and it reminds me of where I grew up. Growing up, my mother and I, my mother ran the front office of a motel, and we lived in the back apartment.
Wow.
And looking at old pictures, sometimes I was like, "Oh my God, it's so 50s." You know, it's 50s, 60s look to it. It's just.
It's funny, the picture on the left, that looks a little like me when I was younger.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
I like Wolfton Media. Remember, Troy, you share a house with her. In other words, be good.
Oh God, how beautiful is that woman right there?
That po-
19 years old at the time.
and that pose is
Yeah.
reminiscent of Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Yeah, absolutely.
And people don't remember Johnny Depp dated Winona Ryder starting with this when they started this movie.
Do you
When
suspect?
he met her and instantly love at first sight for him.
I don't. You know what? I honestly believe there's still something between those two. To be honest with you,
I'm sure there's a deep feeling there. I think with any ex, someone that you've had feelings for, they never, unless there's some huge bad blow up, there'll always be a little special.
I agree,
there.
but I think, especially in the fallout of this whole Amber Heard thing, I think that they're
who still
just speculating.
Who shockingly still has a job, by the way.
Maybe not. New news has come out that they may have recast that role.
Good, because what she did to him is unforgivable to me.
And they cast the exact person that would make it reasonable that they're not gonna, that nobody should really have a problem with it. They chose
Kate Upton.
No. What's her name? She played Khaleesi in Game of Thrones.
Really?
That it's just rumor so far.
Emily something.
Yeah, I know. I mean Daenerys.
You know who I mean.
I can't.
It makes perfect sense to bring her together with Khal Drogo. Yeah.
Somebody please look that up because it's driving me insane.
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark.
I couldn't get Emily Blunt out of my head.
I can understand why you couldn't get Emily Blunt out of your head, but that's not who we're talking about.
Yes, but I don't have.
Thank you, Wolf 10 Media. I got it already.
Yeah, I love Amelia Clark. She is, I believe, one of the world's great beauties.
She's got such great chemistry with whatever the heck his name is, Khal Drogo.
Momoa. Yeah, I think that.
Momoa. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That.
Now, like I said,
who can argue with that?
Not the biggest fan of Jason Momoa, but
I think it's interesting how he's putting on the pants.
He's trying to put on.
So the one thing that I didn't really talk too much about, how bizarre this idea that, he didn't have hands to give him yet, so he gave him these scissors. That's only Tim Burton would think of that. It's just such a bizarre thing. And that answer phone that she has, even though the style is very 60s, that technology is very 80s.
Yeah.
And
there's always a big discussion. Exactly what is Edward?
So the only explanation is that he's some sort of a construct, kind of like a Frankenstein's monster kind of creature.
Yeah.
I was a golem or whatever.
I heard the word homunculus.
Well, that's very interesting that you say that, because a lot of people have compared. Well, and even in Bride of Frankenstein, they have the homunculi, those little.
The little ones, yeah.
The concept of the alchemy that goes into creating a life form like that, very much a homunculus. And I love the fact that she's fixed his suspenders with safety pins, which is so, that 80s goth concept.
And he's such an innocent, likable character.
And I love how she just takes it so in stride, right? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. I've got a doctor friend that can help you. It's like, this isn't weird, but obviously you have a situation that you need some help.
Yep. And I mean, and one thing that a lot of people don't really talk about, what great makeup.
Yes. Absolutely. Some of it very understated, actually.
I love all the women. Yep. Just fast. There's nothing else in their lives. So this one new thing, and everybody's fascinated. Ooh, look at that old.
Well,
car.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's their husband's fault for not giving them something more interesting to deal with. I wouldn't see Netter out doing that because
yeah, we've got some people saying automaton, synthoid.
well, it seems like everything about him is organic except those scissor hands.
Yeah, army of Karens.
Army of
Wolfmedia. I like Wolfmedia. She moves me to tears with her compassion. You're right. Don't you want a woman like that
I know, right?
in your life? Who would, who is just such a loving person and very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Compassionate, I think, is the only way to put it.
Word. There was another word I was looking for, but just empathic. Very empathetic.
Yeah,
she just has this empathy.
I gotta say, very much like Netter. In my opinion, I could totally see Netter being like this. Hey, honey, look who I brought home. This poor unfortunate person needs our help. Okay,
Exactly.
fine.
I love him trying to get the 1p.
And him, he's like, oh darn, he almost had it.
And this shot here where he's like, you seeing through his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of view they really want from it. They want you to see this through Edward's eyes,
right? That's exactly how it sets you up. Yeah, and that's what makes you empathetic of this character. I know Netter doesn't like peas, but I kind of like peas.
Oh, I like peas too.
I think they taste like soil. I don't like them.
I will say, like I said, mostly I like peas. I like canned peas more than frozen. Because I like my peas mushy.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why, but I never liked frozen peas. I kind of like just about anything frozen, but frozen peas and frozen beans I never liked. Why am I getting so excited about this topic?
I don't know.
Are you hungry?
I'm getting hungry as I'm watching him eat. But
all the husbands going to work.
Oh my gosh. I only just now noticed, because you had mentioned this earlier, but all those houses are painted in pastel colors.
Yeah.
Honey, how much have you had to drink? Because I mentioned that a couple times earlier.
Just the one.
And Allie said they painted them that color for the movie.
Yes, I know, but I've never really paid attention before now. Although this one in the lower right was kind of beige.
And all their cars are pastel colors.
Mm-hmm. Well, to me, it's like anybody with empathy and do right for the sake of others because it is right. That puts me to tears. So I better step up. I'm soups in training.
You know what? That's an awesome spirit to have, Wolfmedia, and just not enough of this in people that I see in 2020.
Yeah.
So
I will say, and it's very sad. I have a woman who lives next door who is dating my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And she's about to leave to go stay with her mother in Ohio. Now, I consider this one part of my family because when my mother was in the nursing home and hospital and stuff, she made sure I was fed. And let's just say, if I needed something, no matter how unfortunate it may have been, she was there. She helped me out. And to find someone like that is so rare.
And again, there's that backyard playhouse that I was talking about that I actually saw in the miniature earlier in the movie. I love this attention to detail. And her trying to help him with her, I don't know what you call it, Mary Kay products or whatever, I think is so sweet. She has this belief in the product that she sells. And I'm going to do whatever I can to help you, even cosmetically.
I would love to have a treehouse like that.
Right? And very much in the concept of, you know, when all you have is a hammer, all you see are nails.
It's so
Is
awesome.
him
I love the dinosaur.
right?
Yeah. That's just so cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, having scissor hands would be a very tough thing, but to be able to do something like that, that's not a bad little trade-off. All the busybodies.
Right.
But we were talking about great actors that Computer Mitch. Well, here he is, Alan Arkin.
Right.
Very underappreciated.
Absolutely. I love this guy. So one thing I do have to say, having had, you know, stylized bushes like that when I was growing up, those things are a challenge to upkeep because you have to constantly be pruning them. Otherwise, they lose their shape and you don't want that.
Okay, first of all, how great would it be, like, just be sitting outside with your TV and a lawn chair watching the game?
Right.
Whoa. Yeah,
And
she's
that's so
trouble.
sad because he's like a child in so many ways.
Yeah. Oh, literally in every way. Do they ever say how old he is?
I don't
Like
think
how
so.
long he's been around?
Good point. No, I don't think they do.
The bogs. That's a lot of hair.
So I gotta say, and Netter, forgive me for this, but when I was a kid and I saw this, I was like, man.
Oh, you mean the slut in the front?
Yep.
Kathy Baker.
I mean, that whole MILF concept, let me tell you.
Kathy Baker's very, you know who I've always liked? Gail O'Grady.
Help me out. Who is that?
Gail O'Grady, she's been an actor. I forget what she's been in, but you kind of have to look her up.
Okay. Gail O'Grady. I'll
Gail
take
O'Grady.
a look.
She's been in like some TV stuff, but I've just always thought she was a very lovely girl.
Gail O'Grady. Oh, there she is. Let's see.
Blonde.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Do I know her, sweetie?
No, you probably not, because I have no idea where she's from, but she's kind of got that blonde thing going on like you. So kind of up my alley.
Yeah.
Okay, what was her name again?
Gail O'Grady.
Gail O'Grady.
And can I just point out the potato chips and the Cheetos back there? Very retro, so that definitely dates it. And the Ajax.
He's like, I can't do that.
Very 60s style. Oh, the daughter of Rosie O'Grady, a regular old-fashioned Goyle. And this triggers a memory for him. There you go.
But I always love these inventors because it reminds me of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. The whole breakfast machine and all this other stuff.
Very Tim Burton aesthetic, but I love this whole setup for the inventor, you know.
Yeah. Of course, the oven looking like a face.
Yep.
to
Yep.
the mouth.
That's intentional.
Yes, but that mixing would not have made that dough, and those feet weren't stomping on it hard enough.
Spoil
Which
sport.
is why I kind of see this as a very
All hail the master of horror.
I almost want to say a Lynchian kind of dream sequence. You know, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Don't take it too literally, I should say. And I love the fact this construct that he's created is doing some kind of baking. By the way, I'm going to be doing a baking video probably on the Carton channel in advance of the Star Wars holiday special, because I need to do a video on wasaka berry pudding.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, those cookies look good. Netter makes the best cookies.
I do make good cookies.
You do. She's taken all of my mom's recipes and just run with them. I love that about her.
And your grandma's.
And my grandmother's, yes.
I love that image of him holding up the heart cookie to the machine, giving him the inspiration for Edward.
Great observation. I love that. I like how, at least initially, he's very much accepted, even though he's seen as moderately novel. Yeah, be careful.
Well, yeah, well, like I said, it's only petty jealousy of a few people.
That's all it takes, right?
That spoils it.
That fondue looks really, really good.
Oh God, I love it good. I love cheese in any
Me
form.
Too. I know.
Hot, warm, shredded, sliced, chunks.
Oh,
extra sharp cheddar.
I had
that yellow body hugging suit. It's like,
oh yeah.
Right.
But I like lately I've been on a Colby Jack phase.
Yeah.
But I do love a good brie.
This is brilliant, right? So he's got these scissor hands, and he's finding ways to be useful with them. Mm-hmm. I love that.
I like that little side tail, ponytail thing she's got going on.
So you tagged me, so I got to read it, Wolf 10. I never liked redheaded MILFs as a child. Still don't. Funny, I'm married to an older woman. Well, you know, I don't know what to say about that. There's something exotic about the redhead, right? But there's definitely something awesome about the older woman. That's why I married one.
Hey, the love of my life was 4 years older than me. Not a lot, but still older.
Yep.
I'm 8 years older than Troy.
Yep.
But you can't tell by looking at us.
That's true. But I still think it's kind of awesome.
So Troy, do you consider yourself robbing the grave or her robbing the cradle?
Sure, absolutely, and I'm good with that.
Excuse you, robbing the grave? I'm not that old.
It's the opposite of robbing the cradle.
Yeah,
just joshing.
That's a horrible thing to say.
Just joshing.
I'd never heard that before, but yes, absolutely. Well, I'm totally cool with that.
Actually, it's from The Office.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Michael said when he was dating Pam's mom.
We don't watch The Office.
Sometimes I feel like I'm robbing the grave instead of robbing the cradle or something like that.
That's horrid.
Okay, so here we have we have Vincent Price, and he hasn't even completed Edward yet.
No.
But he's very much like Geppetto, right?
Yeah.
Having created his Pinocchio and reading to him like it's his child. And that is so endearing.
It is. He is his child. I mean, like I said, he created him, but someone who you feel so, how you have so much invested in.
Yep.
And first of all, you made him, but even like people with their pets.
Yep.
That's family to a lot of
them. You pour everything into them.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's a family member.
Now, I want to point this out. We've pointed out all the different ways that we see the aesthetics of the 60s. And yet clearly here we're seeing the hairstyle of the kids very 80s.
Yep.
Very Tim Burton to kind of blend together decades
and of course
one story.
And the color scheme of the kids
yes.
in that van.
Yes.
Very, very, like I said, it's outside of the little town.
Yep.
Although I do think that van is boss. I've always
very kind of reminiscent of the A-Team van.
Yes, I love a van like that.
And we're not on him anymore, but what was that actor's name? Anthony Michael Hall. Thank you, Netter. I was going to point him out to you. This is that very intermediate stage between the very dorky, skinny Breakfast Club era and the very muscular adult.
Yeah, I know.
Hello there, nurse.
Have mussy.
I totally forgot about this scene.
I did too.
And he freaking blows up the
waterbed.
He's got an axe. No, he's not got an axe.
Poor waterbed.
And this poor kid, he's like walking out. It's like, I'm sorry, I messed up everything.
Didn't expect her to come out.
Oh my God, we used to have one of these trundle beds or whatever you call them. Those things are so heavy.
Oh my God, I know.
Yep.
I remember when I worked, someone donated one to one of our houses when I worked with for the mentally ill.
Yeah.
And someone says, well, if you go pick it up. And I thought, oh, it's a sofa, me and another guy.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Those things are so heavy.
Yeah, the way we got rid of ours is we volunteered it to some friends of ours in Wisconsin and told them, it's yours now.
Yep. Yes, we absolutely did.
People always put down futons, but I think a futon is a good way.
We have a futon in our basement right now, and I'm so glad for it.
It's a good way to go. Has someone had to spend the night on the futon every now and then?
I can't believe we're actually talking about this, but yes.
There are times when, like he wants to keep streaming something and I don't feel like going up to bed, so I'll just lay on the futon and wait for him to be done.
She's so sweet. She doesn't want to be away from me.
Or if he's not feeling well.
He's never had news before.
Right? And Al, you're a fan of Stranger Things, right?
I love Stranger Things, yes.
Isn't it great to see her in that?
Yes. I've always liked Winona Ryder anyway. Ever since Beetlejuice. I mean, I don't think there's not a lot of kids my age. Kids my age to say that like that.
Kids
at the time when it was out. People my age when Beetlejuice came out that didn't fall a little in love with Winona Ryder in that film.
It was kind of weird after that to see her as a blonde in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how I feel right now.
That's why you only get one.
I know. I didn't realize I was making it as strong as I did.
Sorry, I love Tom Jones.
What's new, pussycat?
I used to. I remember I worked at Borders. Tom Jones. They put out a greatest hits, and I was able to get
those
a free copy of it.
Oh, right, because that's what Dad called the night before, and it made him sick.
Yep. Hi, I got Scissorhands.
Show and tell.
You gotta admit that's pretty cool.
Well, you know, they can't show him actually doing anything because, well, he's not actually doing anything.
Right.
That classroom is just so barren.
Right?
I've never seen. There's only one teacher I ever knew. He was an English teacher, 10th grade English teacher. He didn't have anything on his walls. He just had books stacked up, and literally that's how the year started. That's how it ended.
I swear, I look at Anthony Michael Hall in this film, and this is totally the transitional Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
He definitely went. I can remember when I saw him for the first time, like not being the 16,
Yeah.
I mean, when he finally got hot,
16 Candles,
Farmer Todd or something.
Right.
I was like, oh my God. And then of course he did Dead Zone.
Oh,
right.
When he got older, he got hot. He's one of those guys that's kind of like, what? Wait, how'd he go from
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I'm a straight guy, but that's definitely what I wanted to be. He really hit the apex.
Yeah.
Well, honey, you are that to me.
Aw, you're so sweet. Wolf10 Media boozes his kryptonite. Yup. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, but I think I had too strong a drink tonight.
Yeah, next time you want one, I make it.
Yep. You make good drinks. You really do. You don't drink at all, but you make great drinks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I will say he was great at playing the nerd, but he does have this special way of playing a bad person. It's
you mean
just
Johnny
so
Depp?
No,
Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah. Well,
because you're so used to him being like the carefree, geeky.
Yeah, so
not carefree, but
doesn't that really speak to his acting ability? He really can play them all.
With all the hair flying over.
Yeah, right.
This poor dog.
No, if you think about it from the dog's point of view.
Well, yeah, the dog's fine. But
dog's
still,
like thankful to be trimmed like this.
It's so poofy. I had a poodle.
So she's thankful for what he just did.
My little fluff. I miss my little fluff.
And so all the dogs now are lined up. Can you do that for me too?
And some of these dogs look like their owners or vice versa.
Now, one thing that they don't really talk about here, I would be charging for this service. Look at her. Look at her. She's kind of like fired up by this.
Okay, the dog didn't have that much hair.
Yeah, it's a little exaggerated. That's true.
Well, it's Tim Burton, everything's made him a lion.
I gave him extra hair because his hair wasn't that
Have
long.
you ever cut a woman's hair? Would you cut mine? And from his point of view, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's the same thing. And she's like, ooh.
Well, like there's a sensualness to how he's approaching her.
Yep. Well, you think about the whole ASMR element of having your hair cut, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, don't ruin haircuts for me. You know how much I don't like that ASMR stuff.
Well, I think you just look at it wrong.
Well, there's a manufactured ASMR, and then there's like a natural.
Yep.
And you're right, like doing that. Like I will sit there and I'll watch someone doing like making a knife on YouTube. It's not meant to be ASMR, but I'm so relaxed watching it.
Look at that! Look at her! Look at her toes curl like that.
Something's tingling.
Yep. Thrilling experience of my whole life.
And that's the ugliest hairstyle I've ever seen.
Oh, but think about how it must feel to her, though.
Honey, I've shaved my head 5 times, 6 times.
Exactly.
I like that little thing on top.
Okay, I
love his aesthetic, right? I mean, everyone is very, very different.
The reverse mohawk.
Yep. And this is very to the point of view of a middle American, suburban housewife. These are very avant-garde hairstyles, but within the community, you can say, "Hey, look, I had my hair done by Edward Scissorhands." Isn't it wild? It's not really that wild, to be honest.
Well, for her it is. I mean,
for her it is. You're absolutely right.
A little asymmetrical thing happening. He's just sitting there with his stuff on his face.
And I love the fact that she is trying to help him in the only way that, she has a skill, or at least the only way she sees herself as having a skill.
Well, she kind of sees through everything.
Yep.
Like I said, she's empathy. She knows what's really there.
She definitely looks beyond the bizarre circumstance.
Southgate Mall, really there, from what I understand. It's a real mall.
Yep. Fabric King. And you can't help but see it from his well, obviously it's meant to be seen from his point of view, but very much the outsider, wishing that he could be part of the group.
And you can see his real life feelings probably helped him with those looks.
Yeah.
Knife and scissors sharpening.
I love that. It's like very practical. It's like it has nothing to do with opinions or anything. It's like you got freaking blades for hands. Let's go get those sharpened up.
Yeah.
Here, let me help you pick that lock.
There you go.
No concept of the fact that this might be not entirely altruistic. Is that
John Davidson?
John
Wow.
Davidson, right?
That's
all of us of a
incredible.
certain age remember him from That's Incredible.
Yep, that's incredible. Him, Fran Tarkington, and Kathy Lee Crosby.
Kathy Lee Gifford, or no,
Crosby.
Crosby.
Lee Crosby.
Oh my gosh! But yeah,
that was a great show.
Brief
Sunday
period,
night.
Wonder
Sunday
Woman,
nights.
in a way.
Well, that one movie.
Yeah, that one movie that she did that didn't really catch on because it wasn't really Wonder Woman.
Look at his hair, man. Wow.
Right?
But yeah, that's incredible. That was a great show because that and Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yep.
There was a lot of shows that they would put like at the 7:00 hour on Sundays or 8:00 on Sunday.
Right?
That were, those strange stories and wild,
Honestly, what has he done since this? I mean,
What, John Davidson?
yeah.
Is he still with us?
I know he is, but what has he done?
No, but is he still? No, is he still with us? I was wondering.
I have no idea. I'll take a look.
Well, let me see. Is he in the? Oh, he's not. Darn it, he's not in the cast list.
Yep, he was born in 1941. He's still with us.
Oh, that's
what
good,
was the
then.
last thing he did? Let me see if he's on IMDb. IMDb. So this was actually the last thing that he's got on his resume since 1990. Yeah,
Wow.
Edward Scissorhands.
Well, to me, it's asking what location the story take place in.
It has to be California, right?
Well, where they shot it was Florida. Now, I don't know where it's. I think it's like one of those could take place anywhere kind of things.
Well, wait a minute. Let's back up a second because there has to be a winter type season, right?
Well, remember it never snowed before.
Oh, it's just him doing the ice carving.
That's him doing the ice carving. You see,
so it does seem like a California kind of.
Right. I think. Well, it was. I think it was based on Tim Burton's hometown in California, and I know they filmed it in Florida, so it kind of it does have that southern warm weather feel, kind of thing to it.
Right.
But I don't think they out and out said exactly where it is, and I'm pretty good with that. I like that it could have been anywhere. And here we go.
Right.
Yes. I agree with you.
Oh, you lucky constructed being, you.
Oh, look at those nails.
They're almost as long as the scissors.
Right, I'm sure that's intentional.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Look at those shoulders.
Love a woman's shoulders.
You?
Love other things too, but
That's not a smock. It's nothing.
Yep. That's the point.
Kind of reminds me of the Ten Commandments when Nefertiti is going through some of the fabrics. And she's like, this is for my wedding night. It's like total see-through.
Yep. Of course he's trembling. I'd be trembling.
Yeah, that is total MILF thing happening.
Right? So what are you doing? Wow.
Hi-oh.
Yeah, right?
There we go.
And he's a little freaked out. Yeah, what's wrong with you, Edward?
Try. He's an innocent child.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. You're right.
And that was an old Sambo's restaurant.
Wolf Ted Media never knew this movie would predict Me Too MILF edition. And she took her clothes off. Again, that innocence, he has no idea what he's saying and how it's going to be perceived by people.
Right.
So hanging on the wall is that big spoon and that big fork. Very, very popular in a bygone era. My grandmother had those hanging in her kitchen.
Well, I miss were they the wooden ones?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
Yep.
Something similar, I should say.
I love that the background of this place is so literal. Again, it's that very Tim Burton,
Yeah.
symbolic.
Yeah,
You know.
because no regular town bank is going to have a vault like that.
Exactly.
That's a vault for a nuclear explosion.
Very cartoon-esque, you know.
Mm-hmm.
See, I always felt like she was going about it the wrong way. She should be the one taking out the loan and investing in him.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I got everybody's got topiaries.
Yep. And in a way, it's because he's literally transformed this town, right?
Yeah. Now, okay. One thing. Notice the colors. She fits in with the town.
Yep.
He doesn't, which tells you about his, about what he's like.
Good point. Mm-hmm.
Although I will say, I do like his shirt. I always like the Knights of the Round Table shirts. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They were like nice big men shirts.
Yeah. So Mr. Torrin Clegane said, my family doesn't have big fork and spoon, but these tin fish things on the wall. My mother hates them, but she's convinced that if she moves them, the wall won't match anymore.
That's possible. That's possible. No, my mother has these weird little lions, or she did. I don't know if she still does, but she had this mirror, and on each side was this like little, almost cartoony looking lion, and they were like supposed to. They were resin, but they were supposed to look like the wood, made to look like wood.
Yeah, I like that. They break into the house, and then he puts the picture down. It's like I don't want you to see what we're about to do. We're setting up Edward.
Yeah.
Because we're assholes that way.
Oh.
And he can't even turn the doorknob. He's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
He's desperate. He's trying to get out. Even these police cars, the Mars lights on top are just, that's not the way any cop car has ever looked. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's very over the top, very cartoony.
Most of what is Edward Rich. Did the old man who created him leave him any money? I don't really know. I don't think
That's
so.
an incredible question. I mean, that's never really addressed. I mean, technically, he would inherit the real estate at the very least. See, that's the one thing that these movies always do. You always have the jerk guy, and the girl realizes what a jerk he is because of that.
He literally can't.
Yeah, they are literally his hands. He cannot drop them.
I love the look on his face. Fear
and confusion.
Confusion. Yeah, it's like all there.
Yep. See, and I love that too. This person from the neighborhood saying, look, he literally cannot. Those are his hands.
Yep. like just finding a place to hook the handcuffs on.
Yeah.
Here comes mommy.
See, this is kind of heartbreaking because it's like they're losing faith in him. And anyone that really was critical thinking about what's going on here should kind of understand what happened to him. You know, they're blaming everything except the people around him that put him in this situation.
Yeah, like what Wolf Time Media here. It's like never knew this movie would predict the social issues of the mentally disabled getting the help they deserve.
Right. That's a great point, Wolf 10. Thank you for that.
Yeah, because for all intents and purposes, he'd probably be on the spectrum somewhere.
Right. He's a constructed being.
Awkward.
He's not a natural being, but you would have to treat him that way because what else could you do? And in a way, this is kind of the way people on the spectrum are treated within the system.
They're a nuisance more than anything else.
Yeah.
Now they've all turned on him.
Right.
Crazy.
And they're still looking at her like she's a wackadoo.
Well, she is a wackadoodle.
She is. But the fact is, what she's saying is totally meshing with what they're saying, right? So they really should be going, oh, yeah, she was right. Nope, they still see her as a wackadoo. So literally, these people can't see anybody as, you know, acceptable to them. They
Mhm.
find everybody as the other.
Well, they've got their little community,
Yep.
and if you're not part of the community, you are an outsider. Oh, the actress playing the religious nut girl, Ulan Jones.
So Wolfden Media says, also like to point out, at least he's not a Terminator. Dogs are chilled around him. So I'm going to point out that dogs have this sense. They can tell what kind of person you are. You know, so if you're trouble, they're not going to like you. And you pay attention to your dog, you'll know what kind of a person you're dealing with.
God, those eyes she has.
Brown eyes with blonde hair is not common. So yeah, I dig what you're saying.
But just her, I mean, just her eye. They're just these big eyes. She just
yeah, she does.
Very, very soulful.
I love that because you asked me to. That's the only reason he did anything. So now she realizes how responsible she is for this whole situation.
Oh, ooh. That's the first almost violent thing he's done.
Yeah.
God, he is such a dick.
Yep.
He plays it so well.
Yep. And as an actor, you get the impression that he kind of relished this role because it was his opportunity to bulk up and, you know, toughen up, you know. Look at the walls, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been doing this for some time.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard the expression "cutter." I mean, definitely a cutter.
Yeah,
I know
that's
what I
kind of
would
a
do.
rough one. That kid has a very unfortunate haircut.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, you get a lot of those little bowl type haircuts.
See, and what I take from this scene is you find out two very different things. You find out where he's coming from. I mean, the ethical question, yes, you might have a right or wrong in your mind, but what's more important is he's revealing who he is in his answer, and he's not paying attention to it. From a Hollywood standpoint, you look at the decor in these houses and you start to wonder, they had to really scour the Goodwill or something to find some of this decor.
Yeah, they all have that weird thing on the wall.
Yep.
So you got keys. You got the other one has that
hanging lamp, the starburst clock.
And because the slut didn't get lucky, she's telling everyone that he tried to rape her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
What a
white
life.
Christmas tree. My grandmother had a Christmas tree like that.
I remember my friends down the road, they had the big, like, silver tinfoil tree.
Yeah.
And I mean, silver tinfoil type tree. I mean, that thing
that
was
was a
just
very like 60s
old style.
thing. Yeah.
I mean, he's already given her several cuts. You could tell by how short it is.
Yeah. You can't go much shorter than that. Happy holidays. Okay, so I see them doing this, and
it's
it
a
just
warm
kind of
location.
it very much confirms the California, because they don't have snow in California.
Yeah.
They're not planning to.
But I was like watching a Christmas movie, like a Hallmark or a low budget one. And if you look at the snow, sometimes you can tell that it's something like that.
Yep. Yep. And what's funny is now you look at her hairstyle and it's very 80s style.
Mm-hmm.
Even though all the rest of the decor and everything seemed to be very 60s-ish.
Oh, that chorus, just that other makes it otherworldly.
I want to know where the big black eyes came from.
Good question. I was just thinking the same thing, because it's not like it snowed there or anything, and they had an abundance of ice around. And for her, this is the closest thing she's probably seen to snow if she's in California. And the thing between the hair cutting and the ice sculptures, this kid's an artist. And it's very much that carving David out of the stone thing, cutting away everything that isn't the vision that I see.
I always like the story of the day of Michelangelo's David. That it was originally intended to be a shorter, long piece, and ended up being the tall. Whoops.
Yep. Yeah, making something out of something that was really kind of his fault.
Yeah.
She
cut her hand, but she's going to go get her ice. You don't put ice on a cut.
Sure. No. Sure you do, because it helps the wound pucker. Yeah. It does help stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I never heard that before.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy who's going to end up. Well, I mean, if we didn't already know what happened, but that type of guy will end up like in jail or dead.
Yeah,
being such an asshole.
He's the same kind of archetype as like Biff Tannen from Back to the Future, right?
Oh, good call. Didn't think about that. He's Biff Tannen.
The actor that played Mike in Twin Peaks, very much the same kind of character, And when I met him in real life, I told him, I'm like, oh my gosh, you just struck me as the archetype of the bully. You're the kind of guy that would totally picked on me in high school. And he's like, dude, you have no idea. That was some serious acting on my part because I am not like that.
He is upset now.
Of course he is.
Well, like he's stripping away all the of society. He's going back to what he was when
and
he
look at the decor in her house. You know, it's clear that, you know, she has no friends, she has no life. It's all about religion for her, which really kind of makes her a little bit of an outcast in the community. Yeah, right?
That was a good little thing for him. I too like that open up again. This is like devil thing.
You know what? I really do like her hair, though.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. It flatters her.
It's a very 80s style, but I like it. I like they're all pointing in different directions. Just go. You're not helping anybody.
He's a demon.
So the one aspect of the filming of this, it doesn't matter what depth you're seeing in the camera, there is no blurriness. Whether it's foreground or way in the background, it's all crisp and clear. That's clearly a stylistic decision on Tim Burton's part.
And you got to give it to the cinematographer too for that.
Yes.
That's not an easy trick to do because of the camera.
It's not.
Camera wants to focus on the nearest thing,
Exactly.
Or you focus on something, but everything else is out of focus.
I don't even
if you
know
ever
how
watch,
they do them.
If you ever see Speed Racer,
yep,
the film, and they did that a lot because they wanted to look like the animation,
like the cartoon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the perspectives are all kind of weird.
You know, the other thing that very much speaks to Central to Southern California is the setup of these tract houses. You know, there's a lot of housing communities.
Okay, I love this bit.
This is a cute little scene.
Yeah, I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't be able to not do that myself. That poor dog and he loves him for it.
Yeah. And he gives him a little kid. I can see you. Almost a little Christ-like thing.
Yep.
Helping the blind to see.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually very astute. I never thought of it that way, but it's a very astute way of looking at it. And you know, I mean, I know this is an obvious thing, but the overarching storyline here is this poor kid was pulled out of his home in solitude, brought into this world. He didn't ask to be brought here. He didn't ask to be treated this way. He hasn't done anything wrong. Very much the Frankenstein story.
I guess if anything, he's been wronged.
Yep, absolutely.
He was lied to, abandoned.
So Wolf 10 Media says the old guy who gives him a nice word turned on him and is calling him crippled. Really, he is. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Everybody who is nice to him, with two exceptions, has turned on him. And it's Winona Ryder's character and her mother. They're the only ones, the female characters, the ones with the real heart, don't turn on him.
Well,
Well,
the motherly instinct almost.
Yes,
I
exactly.
noticed the kid just
Mother
thinks he's a,
instinct and the love instinct.
Right. What were you saying, Netter?
her brother just thinks he's a neat toy, and the dad is oblivious.
Well, but he's the child, right? He sees everything from the point of view of a child.
And here, and this is
the backstory about the hands. Yeah. Oh, this is tough.
It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, especially seeing it after Vincent Price passed, right? I'm sorry, it's still very confusing. Why didn't you start out with these?
I know why you know.
It's such a Tim Burton thing.
Well, one thing I could say, if you think about it, hands would be the most difficult.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. But why scissors?
Yeah.
Why scissors in the first place? Oh. Oh, this is heartbreaking.
Oh. And look, see, he's brand spanking new, no scars yet.
Yeah. Because from here on, he needs to take care of himself.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, but that's very intentional. How else can he touch him?
No, I meant cutting him, though.
Yes.
And that's an awful lot of blood for that small cut he put on.
Yes,
his
it
cheek.
is. And again, it's that very, surrealistic, communication.
And him realizing his touch hurts.
Yeah. And that's why his hands, he's not even touching her, right?
Yeah, he can't. It'll hurt.
I think that's a story element that they got very right with the X-Men and Rogue. This whole idea of being isolated by the fact that you can't touch people without hurting them, which pretty much we can all relate to in 2020, right?
And look, he's like even in the very, he's like he's got his little throne.
Yeah,
like he thinks he's all that because his family's rich. Ooh, I like that.
Right, that Apatosaurus
long neck.
Long neck, yeah, exactly.
Because I still, being older, I still want to say Brontosaurus.
Oh, hey, Mr. Matchstick, I'm glad you made it. Glad you're here. If you're wanting to watch along with us, we can give you a timestamp if you're
interested. We only got about 17 minutes left.
Yeah, we're almost done. We're kind of at the denouement of the story. Yeah, and even him driving around recklessly like this, destroying the beautiful things that he's created, right? Happy holidays.
Oh.
See, even in saving her life, it seems like an attack because of his bladed hands.
And of course, now the opportunist.
Yeah. and she sees what's happening. Yep, and the mother figure, just Edward, come home.
Yeah.
And this is probably the most telling thing, right? He doesn't even intentionally defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the guy beating him up, he only hurt on accident.
Right. Because I mean, he has no other recourse. That's why these guys they cut. I mean, he touches them and he cuts them.
Netter, Wolfie's worried about you. You better speak up. Let him know
I'm
you're.
fine.
Yeah,
I was just
you're
watching the
still with
movie.
us. Yeah. And she's actually not just defending him, she's just speaking to the reality of the circumstance, right? It's like, it's just a scratch, it's not, a big deal. She's trying to bring some realism to the circumstance.
I like how the cop just fires gun in the air a few times, just said, go, run.
What did I say? Go home.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was coughing. It's like my allergies are still acting up. I'm allergic to dust. And of course, now that the house is all closed up because it's colder here, I'm getting the dust more stirred up around me.
That is the bigger problem. The season is changing for us. We just spent 3 hours out in the cold yesterday standing in line at the DMV. This is very much the whole Frankenstein thing, right?
Yeah,
where he retreats back to the
all they're missing is torches.
Yeah.
Also Beauty and the Beast when they all went after him.
Exactly. Good analogy.
Kill the beast.
Well, I think it's more along the lines of Beauty and the Beast because if I recall the ending to this, her jerkweed boyfriend or ex-boyfriend goes after Edward and tries something.
Man, I never noticed it before, but just the correlation in the style of the impressionistic sets. You're absolutely right about that. There's also a certain flowers for Algernon kind of thing here. It's like, you brought me into this world, exposed me to it. I began to like it, and now I'm driven from it. That's not fair. Wolf 10 Media, I love what he says here. What's interesting about subjects about the outcast back then in movies is that the black character is the one that is the compassionate stranger, right? They did that intentionally because they knew that someone that has an African American background knows what it's like to be the outcast in a circumstance like this. Or I'll kill you myself. Wow. Exactly.
It's like, get it through your skull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he would never use deadly force except to defend someone else.
Right.
Right. Even to defend himself.
I say even himself, because like I said, he was getting beat on. It was happening because he knew if he did anything, it would hurt the guy.
But there's really no spinning this. This is what's so tragic.
Yeah.
Now look at all of these people wearing red.
It's Christmas.
I think there's more to it than that.
They were all going to be going to a Christmas party at her house.
That's right.
It also does go against the pastel aesthetic. The pastel.
Yeah.
Everyone has changed, like
become very garish. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, red is a very angry.
Yes.
Color. Yeah.
And this hurts. It's definitely a goodbye kiss. It's like, yeah, there's no coming back from this.
Melissa asks us, like, what did they do with the douchebag, his body after his death, Edward's hands? Also, how did he get the blocks of ice?
Yeah, the blocks of ice are not at all clear.
What she does here, I think, is really clever.
It's one of those things that's just, you just need to accept it.
Yeah, but she pulled off one of the scissors from the display that the
Yeah, see, I love that she's basically covering for him, saying, look, you know, they killed each other, leave him alone, he's dead. Nothing to see here.
You know what's funny though? You know, the nutty religious lady.
Yeah,
she's kind of hot.
I kind of see that, but yeah, she's.
Yeah, I kind of something better.
You also have a great deal of sympathy because she's clearly got some issues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another heartbreaking thing. She says she never saw him again, but she's obviously talking about herself.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible makeup.
Yes, it is.
I have never seen aged makeup look that good before. Look at her hands. And I'm sorry, I cannot figure out exactly what technique they used. It wasn't just rigid collodion. I can't imagine how they got that effect. That is good.
I don't know, but it was pretty. I mean, old age can go very wrong. The makeup,
yes, and they did it very
wrong.
well.
But it was done very well. Well, it was Stan Winston and V. Neal. Oh, no wonder, but you know, heavy hitters.
Right. They know their stuff.
If anybody knows V. Neal, and they lost. Oh man, they lost to Dick Tracy,
which was so cartoonish.
Yeah.
There's just some subtlety here that I think was very much overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I can't stand these award shows. I don't. These people.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I would like more celebration of like several films for their work, because everyone's different and everybody, like costuming. And if something like a Gone with the Wind doesn't win costuming, there's something wrong. Not Gone with the Wind, Lord of the Rings. Well, Gone with the Wind too. So you give it to something that was done like 50s.
She says if he wasn't up there, I don't think it would still be snowing, and sometimes you'll catch me dancing in it.
Yeah.
You know what? Why have you never gone back in all these years? Seriously?
Where
If
the
he's-
ice come from?
Well, yeah, where the ice come from? But for crying, well, who knows? Maybe he's got some money and he's ordered it and he's figured out.
The inventor has, maybe there's an invention in there that
There's
makes
an ice maker in there, yeah. But it's like, you know what? You haven't seen him in all these years. You got old. You left him up there.
Here's a neat little trivia thing. That's not actual like snow. They're soap flakes or powdered milk flakes.
Yeah. That almost certainly isn't real
Sometimes
snow.
they use potato flakes.
Now I want some potatoes.
Wolfton Media says I'm pretty much on my own thing. He doesn't find her attractive at all. There's a thing about the lady.
In fairness, Wolfton Media, when it comes to this kind of stuff, and
I'm talking the actress, not the character.
Yeah. It's everybody's got their own flavor, right? And I'm not usually a big fan of hers, but I am in this movie, and I just realized it's kind of the blonde thing. I kind of gravitate towards the blondes.
God, what a beautiful movie,
wasn't it?
You really forget. I think a little on the underappreciated side. As Tim Burton said, it may not be his best film, but it's his favorite.
And again, you point out this is very early on in the
this was a 25-year-old Johnny Depp, a 19-year-old Winona Ryder, and just did Batman Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And so much ahead of them.
And I'm going to take this opportunity to hold up Johnny Depp and say, you know what? This is a good guy.
Yeah.
Whatever he's got going on in his personal life, nobody has any business judging him, really. And
I'll be the first thing. Everyone's done probably something kind of bad. Have an argument with a lover or something. But yeah, the stuff I've heard.
Yeah.
Amber Heard,
she's a piece of work. That's the best I can say about her.
Because they've got her admitting that she was lying about stuff, and yet he's still, a lot of people are saying his career is over. I don't think it is.
Well, the one thing that I love is the fact that they dropped him from this movie, and they still have to pay him. It doesn't matter if he only did like one scene. He's got a rider in his contract. They had to pay him for the whole contract. And I love that. Yeah. It's like, good on you. You're going to fire him. You're still going to pay him. Doesn't matter whether he does the job or not. Yeah. So now you have to pay another actor and you're paying double.
Yeah. I think they're talking, who'd they mention?
I don't care who they choose. The movie is going to tank. It really is.
I was trying to remember who they were bringing up to do it.
I got to be honest. I know I read who it was, but it was somebody I didn't even know. And it's I was like, good. I hope
I do. I do.
It's going to suffer because of this. They really are. It is a no-win scenario for them.
I do want to say Wolfton Media has a good point. The reason she never went back, it would have been too risky. People would have been suspicious.
I love that take. The idea that she was protecting him. In a way, it's like she's denying herself by not going back and protecting him, but it's still heartbreaking. Yeah. But that's Tim Burton, right? It's so.
Yeah, his story. There are a lot of aspects to his stories that are kind of very sad. Very, there's a tragic thing about it, and sometimes that makes for a great story. Not all great stories need to have a happy ending. Not everything is a Hallmark movie. Mads Mikkelsen
Media follows up and says, yes, it was to protect him. Those nosy Karens would have followed her. Right. He's right. based on the way this film was characterized, he's absolutely right.
Yeah, and the actor was Mads Mikkelsen, the guy who played Hannibal on the TV show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and I didn't know it from anything because I never saw that movie or that show.
Good actor, but like I said, it's all tainted now.
It is.
It's one thing.
Nobody was going to take that role, and anyone's going to even accept him.
It's one thing to lose someone like Richard Harris, as Dumbledore, and then have to replace him.
Yeah, I mean,
because there was a death. Man died. Johnny Depp didn't die. He's just,
he got done dirty, and I think he's got a huge fan base that's rallying around him, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah, I think this is far from over, thankfully, and they are. I think Johnny Depp will come out of this embattled but standing.
I hope so. I hope you're absolutely right.
And Amber Heard hope she gets some help because there's something wrong. I mean,
I honestly hope though that karma does its business with her because she's got some stuff coming to her, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to have his word. He said, she said thing, but we've heard some of the things she said, and it's not exactly in her favor. So, but that's I'm sure an ongoing thing. But Edward Scissorhands. Final thoughts?
I would say good call on this one, Al. I super appreciate this.
Like I said, it was kind of that good one for this time of year. Nice. A little bit of a Christmassy.
What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I've always liked this movie, and of course, it's like so sad that he's alone again.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But for a brief time, he had family,
and it was a good family. I mean, they were good people. Sadly, that son of a who just.
Even the father there, who was, I think, a little misguided, had really, really good intent.
Yeah, I think he genuinely liked the guy, and
he was trying to help. He was trying to be fatherly.
Yeah, he was he was treating him with respect. Yeah, he didn't, he wasn't. He didn't have any negative things to really say about him. He just was this odd kind of character.
Well, if it wasn't for the two liars, the ex-boyfriend and the slut, like talking bad about him, there wouldn't have been an issue.
No, there wouldn't have been. And it goes for to say, you say you get upset at someone. It's one thing to be upset at someone. You don't go out to destroy a person because because you didn't get your way, or he's taken my girlfriend, or he's different, and that just annoys me. I mean, it's you don't like someone, leave them alone. Just stay. Just don't even worry about it. Just stay out of it. But you get this butthead who thinks he's some kind of toy. He uses them to get in the house, and everything goes wrong, and he's like, I'm gonna have him take the blame, and later gets ticked off because the girl falls for him. His girl, that's my girl. Oh, I hate guys like that.
Well, it's that possessiveness, like she's a commodity of some kind.
Yeah, I hate guys like that. But I hope everyone enjoyed that, and of course, we've got a heck of a week coming up.
So I know we got a lot of stuff going on Study Hall tomorrow on Agent Boomer's channel. It's my own fault. I haven't gotten the notes together and the thumbnail, so Agent Boomer has not been able to put up the link yet, but be sure to subscribe to him because we will have an incredible show tomorrow.
Definitely tune in, and that's at 9:00 as usual.
Yep.
And then Mr. Matchstick,
I'm sure he's got something going on. I don't know exactly, but
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure
exactly. Get that out there. Yeah.
What's going on there? Monday night, of course, the Monday Night Muse, the lovely.
I'll tell you what, Monday Night Muse, she inspired me on my show this past week. So look for a little bit of uplifting inspiration from our sound engraver.
Yeah, always a great lesson, and then great interaction with the chat. Lots of good tidbits come from that.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday night.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to Tuesday night.
Loaded, my friends. 9:00 on the Catholic Bible Geek channel. We are doing chapters 6 through 10 of The Magician's Nephew. Read it today. Oh my God, what a great chapter! What a great few chapters! Can't wait to hear the Catholic Bible Geek's take on that. The professor's take. That'll be for about an hour, and then at 10, because Tuesday, November 17th, is Wookiee
Life Day.
It is a very important holiday in the Star Wars universe, Wookiee Life Day. And to celebrate it, we are having the second annual Professor Geek rewatch of the Star Wars Holiday Special. And we are bringing someone in who's never seen it before. Sound Engraver has never had to sit through this thing.
Yes, she has no idea what she's getting into.
And if
you get to enjoy it from her point of view.
Oh, it's got that. I'm looking forward to that more than anything, I think.
If you don't mind, I'm also going to drop real quick the link for the Klingon Clerics channel, because I'm going to have at least one video related to the Star Wars Holiday Special, even though it's not Star Trek, it's Star Wars. But I'm going to do a cooking video on wasaka berry pudding in honor of Wookiee Life Day, and I'm going to do it on the Klingon Clerics channel. So I will be dropping that in the next couple days.
A Klingon recipe handed down from ancient warriors who visited the galaxy many years ago, and they they got this recipe from this strange forest world.
Yeah, it's called Tarjay, and you have to go into this one section with all these wild fruits and vegetables.
Absolutely. So
fighting off the COVIDs.
keep an eye out for that. That brings us to then Wednesday night with Daniel Herron's soundtrack with Birdman. Do you know what's on the docket for this week?
The Birdman and the Boomer are going to be watching Dances with Wolves.
Ooh, that's a good movie. I've never really thought about the soundtrack on that.
It's going to be a long night for them, and they are trying to convince a certain professor to come on and talk about the frontiersman archetype.
Ooh,
I'm not sure if he will. Hopefully he will. I think that would be kind of.
I heard he was going to be there, so.
I've heard. I heard he's been asked and not sure yet.
I don't know, Professor. This is an opportunity to teach. A professor cannot pass up an opportunity to teach.
I'm trying to convince the man to do it. I think it'd be an interesting take to hear a little bit of something about the frontiersman and how the Costner's character dances with wolves. Well, that's his name, dances with wolves.
Yeah,
kind of fits that archetype. And then
also on Wednesday night, don't forget about Green Lion Girl, because her dream streams are a lot of fun.
Yeah,
they are such a hoot. I love watching her.
Still doing Hitman, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still doing Hitman. So tune into Green Lion Girl, usually around 9:00. So you have to make a choice. Sometimes, sadly, soundtracks with Birdman or Green Lion Girl, but you can bounce back and forth.
The fact is, though, you can always catch one on the following day, on the rewatch. Just make sure you do the do a comment and do a share and whatnot. Anything you could do to support fellow YouTubers.
Definitely hit the like button. Hopefully, how many likes do I have? Hopefully,
9.
You currently have 9, which is more than is watching right now. So that's a good sign.
So that's awesome. So people who have at least stopped by and left a little blurb.
And then here's a good segue into what I was just going off of is I have created a Facebook page called, well, it's basically for YouTubers. So make sure that if you are a YouTuber and you haven't already put your link in there, put your link in there.
Yep.
If you're not a YouTuber, go there and
We're doing our
subscribe.
best
Follow.
to help you guys out and help you build your community. So make sure you do that.
Yeah, and like
Also,
Troy said,
Wolfhead Media has several ramblings throughout the week. We
yeah,
like
they're awesome.
Tuesday, Thursdays afternoonish around 3. Is that when they are? Are they regularly scheduled like that?
Well, even if they're not, let's just get you. I'm
Yeah,
going to give you his channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and he is really good about posting in Netter's network on that Facebook group to let you know what he's doing and when. So
yeah, tune in to the Wolf Squadron as
the Wolf Squadron now.
and hear that, and of course the Fan Man on Wednesdays at 11 with his Second Cup Cafe. Next few weeks is going to be, I think, just a single show, and I believe he's going to go back to 2 shows a week, at least for a few weeks once school kind of gets out for Christmas. But right now, Wednesdays 11 o'clock with the Fan Man, and next Friday will probably be some sort of Fan Man tonight. If not, I'll jump in and do something. Who knows? So yeah, just keep tuned in.
I shouldn't have to drop the link because you're on the channel already. So make sure you're subscribed to Big Al here.
Yeah, and definitely tune in to me. My next rewatch is going to be the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which will be the Burt Reynolds Dolly Parton musical Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Yeah,
I love this movie.
It's a hard candy Christmas.
Oh yeah, and I love ooh, I love to dance a little sidestep. Now they see me now. Sorry, my voice is cracking. Sorry.
But next week Saturday over on my channel.
Next Saturday, what are we watching? What are we watching next Saturday?
Holiday Inn, which is actually a good holiday movie for just about any holiday because it kind of covers all of them: Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Going old school. Do I have Holiday Inn down? I think I have it. Holiday
if you don't, we'll have to get it for you in the next week.
Yeah, I think I have it. I'm not 100% sure. I thought.
Now I'm going to warn you. I'm going to give you a little trigger warning because I know there's some things in there that are a little, not acceptable in the modern PC culture. So hopefully nobody's too triggered by it.
Okay. I cannot wait until people just say, "Oh well, I ain't gonna worry about it." But sadly, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
This is the kind of world we live in. So I'm just, although I got to say that I think everybody in our community is built of stauncher stuff than the average snowflake. So I think we'll be okay. But I just mention it just out of courtesy to everybody.
I would hope so because. Good Lord, do we have some issues with people going around these days? Everyone's so touchy.
I know.
I mean, I would like to
say some of the same things that would trigger you if we were doing a rewatch of like Song of the South or Gone with the Wind or something. There's some of that kind of element in.
I'm gonna do Gone with the Wind after the new year.
Good. I
almost did it last month, but I opted for.
But you had some other things on the docket that you.
Yeah, something. Well, I forget exactly when it was, but yeah, it was Halloween time, and
I mean, you got so many things that you're trying to get in. I get that. But that's our weekend review, everybody. So, and of course, just tune into the Professor Geek Facebook group. If you didn't catch it, you can always scroll up. I gave you all the links, but if you want the simple thing, just click on that last link that I just put in for the Professor Geek Facebook group. I've got the schedule in there. I've got all the links for all of our channels. We'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm. with the holiday special, we doing the YO
Yep.
one?
Yeah, that is the so if we were doing any other movie, it would be like the release version, the original version, or whatever. And the Huio, I suppose, or whatever it is, the Ohio whatever
H-
network it was. Gosh, it was like 3 years ago. Somebody found a VHS copy from this Ohio network, had the best possible copy of an original master of the holiday special, and they made it available online. So what we'll do is next on Tuesday, when we do the rewatch, we'll drop a link to another YouTube channel. You open up two channels, you got us on one tab and the other YouTube channel on another channel, so that you can watch along with us. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
be good. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I think that's all. Any final words, comments, snide remarks?
I
Yeah.
just want to remind everyone, like we were saying earlier,
Yes.
please make sure you go to our channels, subscribe to us, drop a comment on our videos. It does help our algorithms, especially for those of us just starting out. It really means a lot to us, and we super appreciate you guys.
Yep. We certainly
Yeah,
do.
like I said, I love my Al pals. I'm glad when you guys stop by. And just hope everyone has a happy and safe rest of the weekend. And of course, everybody, start getting those turkeys ready, man. Thanksgiving's coming. It is
Gobble,
coming
gobble.
quick. Gobble,
Yep.
gobble, 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 gobble. Oh my
I
God,
can't wait to get the
I heard myself in the echo doing it, doing the gobble. So bizarre. Okay, final words, nothing. Okay, everybody, please stay safe. Have a great
Yep.
weekend, and tune in next time.
Take
Bye,
care,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.